afternoon, everyone. It's Lee the Appraiser for another short episode of Amazing Appraising here in New York City in our gallery here. This is the show where we condense 40 years of evaluating and appraising knowledge, typically in a matter of a minute. So we were contacted by somebody. He came in here. Your name is Keith, right?
Yes, sir.
Nice to meet you, Keith. How are you?
Very well, thanks.
Okay, so tell me what we have here, in your opinion.
I'm not sure. It's a book I had found. I got relatively cheap at a secondhand store. It appears to have a signature, and I couldn't tell if it was a legitimate Antonin Scalia Justice signature or if it was auto pen. I came in hoping to find some guidance on that.
Okay, and when did you acquire this book?
Last year.
Last year. Okay, so what we have here basically is a book. It's written by the Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia, who was one of the great Supreme Court justices we've had in recent years. It's called A Matter of Interpretation, Federal Courts and the Law, where he gives his opinions on various things. And if you look on the front cover page on the inside, this is Matter of Interpretation, and it appears to have his signatures there. So what we're going to do is try to figure out very quickly and very logically if this signature is good and genuine, which if that's the case, the book could be retail up to $1,000. If it's not, and it was a common signature, or basically yet the two choices typically are auto pen, that's a machine that just signs them like it copies the person's autograph perfectly, so it's actually an original pen or Sharpie signature. It's just done by a machine, which has minimal value, or in fact it could be printed into the copy page, and that was actually done many times over the years. If you have a lot of these old books, if you open them up, the first page has a signature there, and it was just printed with all the other information. So I looked at it. My gut feeling was I thought it was printed, but we're going to go a little further into our common sense issue and figure this out. So Mr. Keith brought to us with the book a copy of a receipt. This pink receipt states that, and that's my specialty, is figuring things out get the information. A lot of the information I use is on the product itself, but a lot of it has to do with just figuring out the other information regarding the circumstances of the situation, what people can tell me. So he said he bought it in the thrift store.
Oh, it actually came from originally an upstairs neighbor of mine. Had taken a bunch of his books and put them in a bookstore, and I knew he was dropping them off, so I went and got a collection of them. That's actually where I came out of.
This is Dr. Shu?
Yeah, Dr. Shu. Yeah, I actually know the gentleman.
So I'm a little confused. So
he's a very eccentric character. He took all the books and he said he was selling them, and I knew he was like, if you want to go take a look, they're going to be at the bookstore. So I went. It's location on right off Lexington on 59th Street, the bookstore, and I went and he gave me first pickings before, and I just bought it off him.
So to be clear here, one more time.
Yeah. So.
He said he's giving them to the bookstore, or
Yeah.
he gave them to the bookstore?
Said he was giving them to the bookstore.
Giving them for free, or he said?
I'm not sure, honestly.
Typically, he probably got something for
Yeah.
them, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So he sold them to the bookstore. So you went there before he sold them?
After
During?
I went and then got it from the bookstore immediately after he sold them, because
Okay, so he
wouldn't
said,
buy them without going to the store.
it's always,
Yeah.
for me, it's very important to know clearly information. So your neighbor said, here, I am selling some books at this bookstore. If you want, go down there and take your choice and pick them out.
Which is interesting. He wouldn't just let me buy them directly, but yeah.
Here. Okay, so his neighbor sold him there, and he said, you want, go there, you get first choice.
Yeah.
So you ended up buying this book and the other books,
No, just that book.
and you paid a couple bucks.
Yeah, $5 then.
Okay, so the key here is going to be this document. So this document is a bill from Amazon that was ordered on October 7th, 2020, okay, to Dr. Shu. It was paid for, it's a softcover book, the price was $246 plus $3.99 shipping. So this is the key. And based on this, I'm telling you it's not genuine. So there's two reasons. Number one reason is, if it was an original signature, the odds are it would have been in the description. And if it was in the description, it would have said signature of the Supreme Court Justice in a book. The signature has a value, not the book.
Of course.
The book is $2. Okay. So A, it doesn't say that. But is there a possibility maybe after it was purchased, it was signed?
When did Scalia die?
So let's figure. So I think he died, if my guess, I thought it was like about 2012.
Was that early?
And no, 2000, He died on February 13th, 2016. So he died 40 years before this book was purchased.
To be honest, I've never really looked at that form.
I'm just telling you that.
Makes sense.
So the only way it could be genuine is if, in fact, before it was published, it was signed. Okay? So,
short of it slipping through the cracks
and
not realizing.
that is possible, but highly unlikely. So I'm going to stipulate and say, based on the fact that that was very unlikely, and based on the fact, and also I have to understand, everybody, that when you have something that is purported to be rare or valuable, or it could be, original painting by somebody, you also want to figure out how many people have seen it before. Okay, when somebody shows me a painting that they left on the street, or somebody left on the street, and they got it for free, okay, and they say it's a Monet, a Picasso, okay, the reason it's so unlikely it's genuine, okay, is because of the fact that whoever had this painting thought it was probably worthless, or very, very little value. They've had it for many years. Now, why would I say that? Because if they treasured it, they would tell somebody other than themselves. They would have told and say, listen, I got this Picasso from my grandfather. He told me guard it with my life. It's worth over $100,000, et cetera, et cetera. So the person that had it probably didn't say anything or knew that it was valuable, and it probably isn't. And they may have just bought it at a thrift store for $10. Secondly, even if they didn't know it was valuable, if they're having it in their living room, people would tell them, my God, or someone would have told them over the years, it's valuable. Secondly, so somebody didn't think it was worth much, they put it on the street. That means if they cleaned out a house, the super, whoever it was, they're moving, they decided it's not worth it for me to take it with me, I'm leaving it with the super. The super didn't want it, he took it out and put it on the street.
Thankfully, that was the super of the building at the time.
Huh?
Thankfully, I was the super of the building at the time. Yeah.
Well, no, but a lot of it ends up on the street.
Makes sense.
And then the odds are the first person that sees it on the street doesn't even pick it up because he knows it's not valuable. So thousands of people saw it on the street before somebody took it. Mm-hmm. Like I have people calling me up, I have this rare, valuable painting. Where did you get it? I got it on the street. Well, how did you get it? It was left there in the garbage, and boy, was I lucky. It was 8 a.m, 10,000 people passed by, nobody took it. I'm so lucky I got it. The odds are it's not valuable. It was already a lot of people passed by it. So I'm going to say, based on the fact that I thought it was originally a printed signature, and based on the fact that the certificate, or not the book, the receipt states that it had to be sold, it had to be autographed prior to being selling, and based on the fact that in the description, nobody mentions it. So that means, again, I want you just to understand this. Is it possible it's original? Yes. But that means if it was original, the person that got the book, okay, that had the book, let's just say he got Scalia to sign it. He had that book, right? Mm-hmm. He took it, or somebody took it from him or something, and sold it or gave it to Amazon or sold it to a bookseller and didn't mention that, and they paid him whatever, $1 for it. And that person said, didn't notice the signature, and advertised it for $2.
Following.
Got it? And
how do you think
nobody mentioned
there?
that, huh?
How do you think the signature got there?
I think it was probably auto pen, I'm guessing. That's my, to me, it looks clearly a printed signature. Okay, that's my guess. Okay, so that's my opinion here. Okay, so anyhow, that's my opinion here. If you guys have anything else that you wish to buy, sell, or appraise, contact us, email us, text us, 917-439-9610. Visit our gallery here on 57th Street and Broadway. We're open 6 days a week, and we evaluate and appraise everything of value: stamps, coins, gold, silver, jewelry, watches, art, antiques, paintings, furniture, and we'll be happy to help you. That's Lee at APR 57, Amazing Appraising. Till next time, see you later.